Hi, I'm Luke Tanaka, and I'm here with Elmhurst women's basketball coach Tethnie Carrillo. And coach, a one-on-one week, which puts you in the top half of the CCIW standings going into the second half. How do you feel about where your team is at this point in the conference schedule?
We feel good. A 4-3 record, like you said, being in the top half is. You always probably want it to be a little bit better, but we're very satisfied with this record, and we're ready to start the second half of conference.
Against North Park last Wednesday, the defense stepped up again, limiting the Vikings to 55 points while forcing 20 turnovers. What clicked in that two-game stretch? You gave up an average of 52 points per game against two of the best teams in the conference, Wheaton and North Park.
Our girls just really sat down and defended. It's been a problem, I would say, throughout the whole year of just really sitting down and keeping people out of the paint and just guarding for the full 30 seconds. But they really stepped it up and really we put a focus on it the last few weeks for sure.
Speaking of that defense, Liz Rayberger, one of the leading scorer in the conference going into the game on Wednesday, had just 13 points on 3 of 12 shooting. How are you able to limit such an effective score?
Well, it was definitely a team effort, but we put Hannah Henderson on her, and she just really did a nice job of shutting her down, causing her a lot of problems. And then Liz got into a little bit of foul trouble, too, so that always helps. I think that might have disrupted her flow in her offensive game.
Your bench outscored the Vikings 23-7, and as we get into the second half of the conference schedule, it's a very physical conference, really tough conference. How key is it going to be for that bench to continue to be effective?
I mean, it's huge. We play a big, I would say, a big roster right now, and so when you get points from other people besides the starters, it just really helps us to where teams can't just focus on when our starters are in. They really have to match up with us throughout the whole game, so that really helps when they are strong off the bench.
That depth is really extended when you play a team like North Central. Unfortunately, it was a tough game, 22 turnovers in the first half, which really put you in too big of a hole to climb out of. But for a lot of these players, it's the first time that they've seen this kind of system. So how do you think that this game and this experience will help them, not only against North Central, but say against teams like Illinois Wesleyan, who also press?
You're right. Saturday was not a very good game for us, and it was a little bit of a wake-up call with their pressure. And I do think that they're just going to learn from this experience, and the next time around when we do play Wesleyan and North Central, we'll be able to handle it a little differently. We'll definitely go back and watch a lot of film, I'd say, on them so they can see where the openings are. I know sometimes you just kind of, on the first reaction, might put your head down and don't see all the open people. So this next time around, we hope to definitely do better.
And the fact that that bench got extended actually allowed players like Kalia Summerlin to play 11 minutes, and she had 10 points in 11 minutes, including a stretch of 7 in a row at the end of the second half. Now with that kind of performance, is she someone we may see in the second half of the conference schedule a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. I know early on, Kalia was, in the mix, then we kind of went a different direction, and definitely she's been shooting well, and we've been struggling a little bit from the outside, so that also allows some openings for her to come back in, and to her credit, she's really made the most of her minutes out there and is definitely has moving up in the depth chart right now.
Speaking of that three-point shooting, it's been tough the last 4 games after 3 really good games to begin the conference schedule. How do you turn that around? Is it mixing in new players like Summerlin, something like that maybe?
Yeah, I think too some of the teams that we face have really just stepped up defensively also. So we have to make sure we get in the gym and put in our time to make sure our shots are going to fall. And then also, yeah, I think mixing in new people. If there's someone struggling, I think that's a great thing about our team is there's always someone else that will be able to step up and try to fill their spot.
And despite being under 30% in your last 4 games, it's a 2-2 record. So you're impressed with the way your team has responded despite not being able to shoot the 3 very well?
I am. With our offense, it kind of opens up drives at different points. Sometimes it kind of sucks in the defense to where then we can get a backdoor pass in. So it's I guess it's nice to know that when we're struggling from the 3-point line that we're also able to win games with other shots.
Now comes the second time around the conference schedule. Starts this week with Augustana and Milligan, 2 teams who with wins you could pull the season sweep, and they're both at home after 2 road wins the first time around. First up is Augustana, who struggled with early, and then a big fourth quarter put you at a win in Rock Island. What's it going to take to start a little quicker this time against the Vikings?
Yeah, we definitely have to make sure we get off to a good start. They're just a tough team. Every time we play them, they're just really just go after everything. They play hard to the very last second, and so we've got to make sure that we play our game and we sit down and defend. Their post players can step out and shoot threes, so not everyone in the league has post players like that. So it really stretches out the defense on our end. So we really got to be able to make sure that we can stop them in the paint and also guard from the 3-point line.
And then Milliken comes to RA Fagnall Hall on Saturday, another team we could potentially sweep, and that's the only win you have that's over 10 points by double digits so far in the conference schedule, and it's because you shot so well down in Decatur. How do you continue the kind of success against the Big Blue when they come up here to Elmhurst?
Well, I would love to shoot as well as what we did down there. But Milliken is very strong. They've always been a strong inside game with their post players. So that's something definitely that we're going to have to make sure that we defend their post players really well. I thought down at Decatur we did a nice job on them, which then if we can sit down and do that again, that really just kind of disrupts their offense a little bit. So I feel like that's key for our success.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for joining me, and enjoy the week at home.
Thank you.